This is the Woulf Omen trainer blade. I bought it from Blocks, who did this lovely Galaxy Anno. Um, I thought it was going to be a little bit more purpley on the bottom, and but it's not. And save one of the slabs is just a little off color, but all in all, I'm very happy with what Blocks did. I think this looks really nice because before it was just plain silver. So my Omen does not come with a live blade, unfortunately, because Blocks didn't have the live blade either, and the person before them didn't have it either, to my knowledge. And I wish I did have the live blade. So I only have the trainer, and I also have the stock spacers, but currently installed are these purple 3D printed spacers. They are not zippy, but they are still good. The thing about the Omen is that it's like almost 5 ounces with the live blade and stock spacers, which is pretty heavy. I don't know how much this weighs. I still need to get a scale. But with the trainer blade and with these 3D printed spacers, it definitely feels much closer to 4, opposed to 5. So the Omen is a sandwich knife, and it's got these long grooves in here. Thankfully, these grooves are actually quite comfortable for my sensitive skin, which is becoming slightly less sensitive because I keep getting nicks on my hand, because who would have guessed that flipping knives for fun would get you cut? But yeah, the trainer with these handles and the spacer is actually quite neutral, and it's got this, it feels longer than I think it actually is. Yeah, so the handles are shorter than the Serif. The blade is about the same length as a Serif blade. Has a very tall Zen nipple, but very, very smooth. You don't have to worry about that. No pinching, to my knowledge. Yeah, I've never been pinched by this. And yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool and interesting. And I was surprised by how much I liked this. But that said, I have complaints. The biggest thing I have to say is that this sandwich, relative to this blade, is so tight. This means you very easily get tap. Even if you have really good tune, you can still get tap. When I got it from Blocks, it had a little bit of tap, but not much. And I was impressed. I hate tap. Tap drives me insane. But I was impressed by how well the tune was, because when I swapped to the stock spacers, which I thought I was going to hate, it's not bad. It definitely has that the issue of when you have long handles with weight at the end, and it makes doing certain tricks such as my twirl ladders that I love to bit. It makes doing this a much more of a fight. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'll stick with the 3D printed spacers. I don't know who made them, unfortunately. I can hopefully try and get the info on that if anyone is interested in it. But when I put it back, this up here is T10 on the pivots. This is a T10. However, the spacer screws are T6. And my complaint, as always, is the pivots don't have screw heads. This meant that when I was tightening my spacers, which it has one hole with like a barrel in it, like there's like a metal barrel that you stick into the spacer. The spacer has 2 holes. Here, I'll show you a picture, or I'll show you this. So on the top one, you stick a metal barrel through, and here's the screw hole. But despite that, there's still a little bit of amount of wiggle because it's not perfect. So my spacers when I reinstalled it, it's a little bit pressed in compared to the sandwich. It's not quite flushed. And also, because I'm not a professional modder or knife maker, I have blade rub now, which is worse than tap. And it drives me crazy. And I was like, oh, what do I do, Blocks? And Blocks was like, you should send it to Professor Slime, because Slime distributes the Omen. And might do it for free. It's like $10 for a tune job, which is understandable, but I also got to pay to and from shipping, and at that point I'm like, I think I'll just put up, even though I will complain every time. And so when just doing certain tricks, sometimes I get blade rub. But my T6 screws are stripped. I cannot tighten or loosen these goddamn screws. Fuck! And because there's no screw head on the pivots, you cannot... You can't do this. Fuck! I hate T6. I hate T8. If you're gonna have shitty screws like that, have fucking heads on your pivots, please, so that you can do the torque in opposite directions, so that you can use the fucking bit holder and then just thunk and then use your driver and like doodly do while this keeps it steady. And this is nice because it has a grip on the thing. But so many Balisongs don't have screw heads on the pivots, and that is especially frustrating when you have T6 hardware that strips with a channel this fucking thin in the sandwich. It's blade rubbing right now. Sounds like scissors. I don't like that. So, is the Woulf Omen worth it? This retails, I believe, for $350, and it comes with a live blade and a trainer blade. The live blade version, I think, is 4.9 or 5.1. I don't remember. And that's with stock spacers. I've never flipped the live blade, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. I flipped only with the trainer and stock spacers for a little bit, and I decided that I like these 3D printed spacers more. Where you can get this and who makes them and who distributes them, I don't know. So I got this for a good price, but if you were to buy this retail, I would say buyers beware. Because I like this, but it has flaws. And it gives me, at least with these spacers, a very even distribution across the whole weight, which is nice. And with the length, it feels good, and it feels relatively unique to my collection, which is surprising. You'd think I'd have something that was long and evenly distributed the whole way through, at least at this weight. And so, I don't know. I would say be careful. Don't destroy your T6 screws, and possibly get new spacers. If you have a live blade that you're willing to part with, or if you just have the live blade, hit me up, because I only have the trainer blade, and I would like to try the live blade version, but I cannot try the live blade with stock spacers because my fucking hardware's ass garbage. So anyway, if you like these kinds of reviews, like, comment, subscribe. I do daily uploads. I am very into flipping knives, and I think that they're very cool, but knives are expensive. So check out my coffee. I don't have a Patreon because I know I cannot support, cannot support a Patreon community and rewards and all that stuff. But for less than 1 month's worth of subscription, you can just give me a couple bucks and it'll help me pay for shipping when I trade knives and all that stuff. It's not even like making a profit. It's just helps me with overhead and shit like that. So anyways, I hope you enjoy. If you do have one of these, let me know what you think, because I think there's not enough opinions on this, and I'm quite curious on how other people feel. So let me know what your thoughts on this knife are, and otherwise, happy flipping and take care.